Hello, my name is Emma Bierman. I am a sophomore at the University of Illinois, and I am in Sigma Alpha. Today, we are going to be learning a little bit about sheep today. And also, as I go along with the slideshow, see if you can find the missing black sheep on each slide. So first, we're going to go over terminology. So a female sheep is known as a ewe, EWE. A male is known as a ram. A castrated male is a wether, and a castrated male is one that cannot reproduce or have babies. A baby sheep is known as a lamb. The act of giving birth is called lambing in sheep. And a herd of sheep is called a flock. So as you can see in this picture, there are a ewe and a lamb in the picture. And then these pictures on the slide now are pictures of a ewe that had just given birth to two twins. So why would you have sheep? Well, sheep can produce wool, meat, and milk. So here's a picture of wool that is shaved off of a sheep, and the wool can be used to make clothing or blankets or anything that you would like to make with the wool. And a sheep can actually produce 2 to 30 pounds of wool each year, depending on the breed. So some breeds have longer wool, so they are better wool producers, and some have short wool because they're more of a meat breed. So they can also produce meat or milk. Some people have milking parlors for sheep, and it's not as common as cow milk, but some people do need sheep milk because of allergies or other digestive issues that they can't drink cow milk. Also, you could just have sheep just for fun. So maybe you just really like sheep and you just want to keep some sheep around, and so that's why you could have sheep. Or you could even have sheep to show in like 4-H or some other type of show. So here's me when I was in 4-H in elementary school showing sheep. So there's a lot of different reasons why people may have sheep. So what do sheep eat? So sheep can eat several different things. One of the main things they eat is grass. And as you can see at the picture at the top, that's a big flock of sheep eating grass. And sheep can actually spend up to 7 hours a day grazing grass. So grass is a pretty big part of their diet. Another thing that a lot of sheep eat is hay, and you can see that on the screen. And sheep eat hay just to kind of help digest their other food, and it just kind of is like around about food that is really good for them. And also another thing that they eat is processed feed, and you can see that in the picture. Kind of looks like little pellets. And a lot of sheep producers will feed their sheep processed food to kind of help gain muscle or fat, and it just kind of has extra stuff that they wouldn't get in their normal diet. So it's kind of like an additive, and it helps them just kind of, I guess, just build up muscle and fat, and just an overall good thing if people choose to feed their sheep that. It's not necessary in their diet, but a lot of people do feed their sheep processed feed. But as like the picture above, that's kind of free range sheep, and they just get turned out all the time into the pasture, or just like the feed lot is what we sometimes call them. And so they just get to graze all day eating grass and just relax and live a good life. So what are some methods of identification of sheep? So this would be, let's say you have a bunch of sheep like on your farm, and you don't really know, you want to kind of like identify them somehow without having to actually go up to them and like go through and be like, okay, well, what is this one? So we have different methods that we can have to help identify them. And one of them is ear tags, and these are the most common. And as you can see in the picture, is they just go and they're kind of like an earring, I guess you could say, as like girls or boys get, and they just have numbers on them. So this is really very visible, and it's you can change the color of them to like say, oh, this one, is a girl, or this one's a boy, or based on like their birth date or any other, or certain like mom or dad. So it just really is very common, and it's easy to identify what exactly you're looking for. But another method of identification is a tattoo, and it just goes right inside of their ear, as you can see in the picture. And it is a more permanent method of identification. However, it's not as visible as like the ear tag. So you'd have to actually go hands-on and look at the sheep to see what their numbers are. So it's not as easy to tell, but it's permanent. So it would be there forever. Whereas like the ear tags, they could potentially, fall out or be taken out. So these are both methods of identification that are used. So we're also going to talk about docking and castration, which is very popular in sheep. So docking is whenever so I'm sure if you've seen sheep, most of them, probably seen a sheep with a tail. Well, sheep are born with tails. So a lot of times what we do is we dock the tails. So as you can see in the picture at the top, we have like this tool that we use, and we just slide it over the tail, and it has like a little rubber band on it. And we put the rubber band on their tail. And what it does is kind of cuts the circulation off. It doesn't hurt them because we do it like when they're a week or two old, and we put them on there, and then basically it cuts circulation off, and the tail just kind of dies, and it will fall off. So it doesn't hurt them at all. They don't even know, like they never realize they even have a tail. And so then they just have like a little rump, and they don't have a tail anymore. So also what we can do is really popular in males is we can castrate males. So whenever a sheep is born, it's either a ram lamb or a ewe lamb. So ewe lamb would be a female sheep, but it's a baby, and a ram lamb would be a male baby sheep. So whenever we castrate them, we normally do that around the same age, and you decide, do we want, this ram to have babies or not have babies, depending on how good of like a sheep they are. So we sometimes look, let's say they have a really good family tree, and they are really good meat producers or wool producers or milk producers. So we would kind of base off of that whether or not you want to castrate your ram lamb. So basically all it does is you just fix your sheep, and so they cannot have babies. So it's very popular in the sheep industry just because not all ram lambs are meant to have babies just based on their genetics, or maybe they're a little bit more aggressive or something. And so we want to castrate them to calm them down, and because we don't want to pass on that aggressive trait onto the next generation of sheep. So lastly, we have fun facts about sheep. So as you can see in this picture, sheep actually have rectangular pupils. So it's like ours is kind of circular, but sheep have rectangles. There are also 1,000 breeds of sheep in the world, which is quite a lot. But as I mentioned, they can be either meat breeds or wool breeds, or they can be milk breeds. So it's really based on kind of what you're wanting to produce your sheep for or use your sheep for. And most meat breeds, are going to be a little bit bulkier and better at building muscle and fat. So they will be better meat breeds. And then the wool breeds are just going to be probably a thicker, kind of better quality of wool. And those, of course, all of these have just been breeded down like across several generations to build the best of the best. And also for like the milk breeds, they're going to be really good at producing a good amount of milk, just like I'm sure you've heard in cattle. Cattle we like to breed, they are known as dairy cattle, and they are just made for milking. And so same with sheep, we just breed them to the best of the best until we get a good quality meat, wool, or milk sheep. There are also 1 billion sheep in the world, and that is a lot of sheep. But people, like I said, they use them for all different things. You can use them for wool, milk, or meat, or just because you like sheep and you just want to have some around, or even people show them. And I know some people, they like to breed, really good sheep together so that they have a good chance at winning. And just like I said, in 4-H, I actually showed sheep. And so, we would really try to, use the best sheep possible to show. because that gives you a better shot of winning. Also, another cool fact about sheep is they have a field of vision of 300 degrees. So if you look straight forward, you can only see like so far, like if you look forward in your peripheral vision, you can only see so far. The sheep can actually see like 300 degrees. So 360 degrees is a full circle. So they can almost see almost all the way around them. Not completely, because their eyes are kind of like here. So, I mean, they can't really see, you know, right behind them probably or right in front of them, but they can see a pretty good field of vision. So they have pretty good eyesight. And sheep are actually pretty smart too. So that is all I have today for you guys. I hope you all learned some cool facts about sheep. Sheep are one of my favorite animals. As you can tell, I have showed sheep and just had sheep around, and I really enjoy teaching about them and learning more information about them. So I just want to thank you guys for listening to me today, and I hope you guys learned some great information about sheep. Thank you.